In both Soul Reaver and Defiance, there's been a focus on Raziel picking up various elements for his Reaver. The elements of wind, fire, water, potassium, mangoes, and spirituality. There's some others in there too, earth and like, gaseous xenon. But the point is, most of them have been pretty intuitive. Like, you take fire. You could use fire to heat up a plate of beans. See? Fundamental force of the universe. But then you look at Kain's side of things with the pillars, and you've got the Balance Guardian, and that makes some sense, I guess, because you gotta balance everything. You've gotta balance forces, like gravity, or, energy. Thermodynamics is a big deal. But then you've got the Guardian of States, or the Guardian of, conflict. So what does the game mean when it says the Guardian of States was corrupted? Does that mean that states don't really work anymore? Like, if you try to freeze water, does it not turn into ice? Or maybe you're gonna sit down with a sandwich and poof, it turns into a gas, and you're just like, oh, that's not right. Sandwich doesn't turn into gas, that doesn't work. Normally I try to come up with some kind of story explanation, but I think this was more like a theme deal. Like a Mega Man stage, like Fireman, Iceman, whatever. But instead they went for Time Man, or Conflict Man, or Energy Man, or, It kinda has to have been that way, because going forward there's really not a lot of evidence that ice doesn't work anymore, or that energy doesn't work anymore, or that people don't have their minds anymore. Because of that, it's sort of difficult to say exactly how tightly connected the pillars are to anything. But all of Nosgoth turns kinda to crap, so I guess they're sorta connected somehow. But anyway, let's get back to our game.
Hello everyone, my name is Taylor.
And I am Ray. And in case the viewer is concerned, we are not in the same place as last time. Yes.
That's Peyton.
Yeah, Raziel actually had a blurb in the game where he goes, I emerged in a much different place that wasn't the same temple. Oh look, how nice, yes. This temple is all lit up and ready to go. No stupid puzzles to complete. No, the ancient race was cruel. They still have puzzles, they just have puzzles after you activate the Reaver. What? But that makes no sense, yes. If you can activate the Reaver, you are the chosen one. For the second time, I held the Light Reaver, and now I could unlock the gates to the graveyard instead of figuring out how the humans got here. I would find my way to Ariel and kinda go from there, I guess. You know what I miss? I miss the undead vampire thralls, yes. It implied that there were people trapped in these temples for years just waiting to hit Raziel with half a broken sword.
Well, you could imagine that an undead thrall would clean the place up or do maintenance, keep itself busy over the millennia. This statue guy's gotta have one job. Basically just to bash Raziel.
By decree of the Holy Pillar Guardians, we shall lock this holy statue into the Holy Broom Closet until such a time that the Chosen One activates the Reaver, at which point the holy statue will come forth and hit the Chosen One with the sword made of stone. Unless, of course, the Chosen One briskly jogs away. Yes, because this thing is not moving very fast. No, he won't do that. That would be rude. The Chosen One will realize we went through a lot of trouble to set up this stone guardian to guard the Holy Reaver. He will fight the guardian one-on-one just like he's supposed to, as we clearly intended.
Do you have to fight this thing? Could you actually just turn around, solve the puzzle, and leave?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I gotta fight it. Does it have a weak spot? Yes. This is taking forever and doesn't look very exciting. No, it's a statue, Peyton. I just hit it until it falls apart. It doesn't stun or anything. I know, that's how the game raises the challenge to the next level. The enemies just don't stun, they keep walking towards me.
So what's the trick to defeating this thing efficiently? It doesn't seem like it telegraphs its moves far enough for you to dodge them.
No, it does. It's just that it doesn't leave a very long window for you to jump in or out, and if Raziel's already swinging the Reaver, he can't get out of the way. Okay, like that. See, did you see that? I jumped right out of the way of it and then jumped back in, and I was too slow. It was already recovered.
Well, it's dead now. It looked like it did stun from time to time, but on kind of an arbitrary basis.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's useless. I can't tell the pattern.
I bet there is a pattern. You're just not very good at the game, Ray.
No, I'm good at it. It's just the game is wrong. There is not much going on in this place, yes. Every temple is like this? Yeah, more or less. Every temple is kinda like this one. But there are good places we go to too, yes? Yeah, the game is still pretty varied, it's just that the temples are super samey.
Well, that's gonna make commentary super difficult.
Yeah?
We're just gonna be sitting around, staring at the same stuff. It's like, hey, what do you want to say, guys?
Temple looks the same.
Yeah, good observation. That's probably said that a few times.
I do actually remember long stretches of boredom through this game. Like, when you're sitting around at home and there's nothing good on the TV, so you just watch something really awful until the next half hour, then a show you like comes on.
Well, the game is lengthening itself by making you backtrack, and it's also copying and pasting temples, so yeah, I can imagine you would get kind of bored sometimes.
Once more, just to remind myself in case I forgot, I now had the means to travel to the pillars, and I was going to go see Ariel. Okay, and we're backtracking. Come on, Defiance, get it together. At least they threw some guys for you to fight, yes?
Oh, here's your camera to remind you, in case you forgot, you have to go over this way.
I could not go that way before. I did not yet have the yellow and purple key, with which I would use to traverse that area. In Soul Reaver 1, Raziel's things that he unlocked was stuff like climbing and the ability to swim. So it made a lot of sense, like, these are things you would actually use to travel.
I like that about Soul Reaver 1. It takes a little bit of planning and creativity to make it feel like you're naturally progressing through locked gates.
With the power of the Reaver, the gate yielded to my laziness and my blatant refusal to climb the hard way. Beyond me lay the pillars, and while I did not know that Ariel could provide me any guidance, I didn't really have anywhere else to go. Okay, it's Kain's turn. Move over,
Okay,
Ray. I'm
here.
taking over. Yes.
Okay, here, jeez.
Wait, I pushed a button. Yes.
You turned off the recording.
That is the recording button?
Yes? Why is it there?
It's F8. How do you accidentally push F8? The F8 button is nowhere near any other button.
It's fine, do not whine yourself.
It is on again.
Did you somehow turn the game's music back on?
All I pushed was a few buttons. Well, we try to do it without music because that gets caught by Content ID, you know?
Well, it's too late now, Ray. I'm recording with the music on. I don't know how to turn it off.
We'll go into options
No,
and just...
yes. I've been sitting here watching you play all day. I am playing now.
Okay, fine. I hope we don't get burned on it. But I guess as long as it's on, I may as well say that I've always kind of liked this game's music. It's got a lot of drums, kind of a... I don't know about like a jungly feel? Do-do, 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 do-do. I wonder what inspired this music.
It's the kind of thing you might play during a hunt. You know, we missed all of Soul Reaver 2's soundtrack, which is too bad because it sets a good tone.
You know, another thing I've always thought is neat about games like this is the way they transition in and out of battle music. It's nice and smooth. I know there was another game that did this called Dot Hack. It's probably more common than I'm giving it credit for, but I notice it in this game and Dot Hack.
Well, Dot Hack was kind of similar to this in that you just ran around in your world and occasionally ran into monsters. Every time you did, it would go into battle music, and they set it up pretty much the same way. You have your basic underlying music that plays at a very specific tempo, and then when you get in a fight, you add some instruments and make things sound a little bit faster, but it sticks to the same tempo and theme.
I'm trying to open up this door and go forward, but the door doesn't want to open, yes. See, there's this shiny thing. It is the eyeball triangle, yes.
It's the Illuminati sign.
You have to run the federal banks to go through this door. How do I get into the federal banks, yes?
I don't know. I think networking is a big deal.
But Kain is already Lord of all Nosgoth.
Yeah, but not in this time period.
And here were the pillars, yes. Still pure, still pristine, untouched by Kain's decisions. Kain had built his throne upon their ruins. He wondered, could Kain live to see their restoration? Was it even possible? So much time ago, Kain declared that Nosgoth would see salvation at his whim. This still held true, yes. But even if Kain could provide that salvation, things could never go back to how they were before.
So at this point of the game, you wind up with a little bit of overlap between Raziel and Kain. You're visiting the pillars in the past, but Raziel comes through and visits in the future. They get to use a lot of the same models, I think, but they're in a different season, so it looks different, there's some different people hanging around, and Raziel can climb walls and stuff. This is one of the cases where the backtracking is actually kind of clever and fun.
I remember that being the core mechanic of Zelda Oracle of Ages. You had the past and the present eras, and you traveled between the two to get ahead in the game.
Oh yeah, I played that. But you know though, I think the two eras were pretty different. This sounds like a good mechanic to save time and energy, maybe disk space, but I think that if you're gonna do it right, you're generally gonna have to redesign everything all the time anyway. People know when you're being cheap, I mean, it's obvious.
If you are going to be cheap, you have to be charming, yes.
Yeah, like, don't leave your dirty socks lying around in the living room.
Don't you get on my case about my dirty socks. I pay half the rent, I can leave them where I want, yes.
See, I never really know what's garbage with you. Like, what are you leaving out because you don't want it anymore, and what are you leaving out that you mean to pick up later? You once left a pizza in the fridge for a whole month.
I forgot about it, yes.
How do you forget about pizza?
I wasn't in the mood for pizza for a few days, and I said to myself, I will eat this later, yeah.
It was a box of pizza that was in the fridge for a month.
Well, after a certain point, I knew it had gone bad, and I didn't want to eat bad pizza, yes.
So you just left it in there for me to take it out.
And you took it out, so mission accomplished, yes.
Man, you know,
oh, you could wait, Ray. yes, you could wait to see if Peyton will take out her own garbage, but Peyton lived with 4 brothers. She will outlast you, Ray. She is used to living in squalor. Yes.
So Peyton, how do you think Sydney's gonna feel about this if you guys ever move in together?
I think there will be a Cold War, and eventually Sydney will learn to accept my base personality. Yes.
At least you're realistic about it.
Love. Realizing all the ways that your lover doesn't meet your expectations, and then settling for it. So romantic.
I make up for it in other ways. Yes.
Yeah, like what?
Like looking good. Yes.
Oh.
Man, there are a lot of soldiers perched up in ridiculous places where soldiers should not be able to reach.
Yeah, especially in all that heavy armor. They must have climbed all the way up here, and then they just said, okay, well, there's nothing up here, but good work, guys.
But they went through all the trouble to climb, and it was really exhausting, and they don't want to come back down.
Of course, it's the dead of winter, so they're just up there on a windy precipice, freezing to death for no reason.
Look at this. There is genuinely nothing here.
This is where Mobius had instructed Kain to go. But Kain found nothing here but a disc with a missing pizza slice. Yes. Kain would have to backtrack and find this pizza slice.
And then throw it away if it's old.
No, I will just leave it out. Someone else will deal with it. Yes.
Well, there's your Illuminati symbol anyway. You run the federal banks now.
I have achieved the stone disc. Yes. And now it is time for backtracking.
Boy, it sure was nice of the game to completely and thoroughly repopulate the area you left not 5 minutes ago.
It was a total bloodbath. Kain killed everybody. Who was there to report this?
How'd they get backup mobilized so fast? They had 2 minutes for Kain to turn around.
It doesn't matter. They can double their numbers. It's just more food for Kain. Yes.
Yeah, but it's also more TV for us. We've already seen these guys, we've already been to this place, we just have to slow down.
What this game needed was a more robust leveling system to make it feel like you're really getting something out of the grind. You do unlock new abilities, but they don't feel very meaningful.
Oh no! Kain Bat's run away scared! Water bad!
I thought I could get on that ledge, yes.
What are we on? Is that 2 deaths from water? 3? Something like that?
Well, I am certainly not getting killed in combat, that's for sure. Yes.
That's because water doesn't bleed. It's an unassailable foe for Kain.
It is a stupid foe, yes. Kain's sons evolved away their weaknesses. Kain should evolve away his.
Yeah, but then he'd be stuck to the ceiling like Zaphon.
We don't know that, yes.
Well, you remember how in Soul Reaver 1 it said that Kain would evolve first and then his sons would go to sleep and evolve second? Then Raziel shows up and he's got wings and Kain rips the wings off and throws Raziel in the pit. After that, Kain doesn't evolve again, does he? I mean, what's wrong with wings, right? You think that Kain would go for that. The firstborn son showed the first signs of aberration. And then Kain got really into looking at the time stream.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate that some architect put a spring behind that stone face, and when you hit the spring it causes a platform to slide out? When would that be useful for anyone but Kain?
Maybe that's for maintenance. A thrall comes out there with a squeegee and he squeegees down the thing.
But the platform recedes after a few seconds. You'd have to repeatedly bash the spring.
I don't know, the ancient race was going crazy, Taylor. They were going crazy.
We can't even say this is the work of the Time Guardian anymore. Because Kain is supposed to be dead, the Time Guardian should have foreseen Kain being killed.
Nope, because in this game they also foresee Kain fighting with another guy. Spoiler, I can't give it away yet.
Who is it? Is it Mobius? Yes. Kain should kill Mobius.
Well, he does.
He should kill him again then. Yes.
Okay, so what you're saying is that there's a prophecy that predicts the prophecies won't come true, and therefore we're on the rails again and dealing with fate just like before.
Yeah, but they also hype up Raziel's free will, so no?
Another slice of the balance pizza, this time bearing the symbol of dimension. Perhaps with this, Kain could find the thing that Mobius said Kain could find. Yes. And now, we backtrack. Yes.
Boy, there's nothing like going all the way to your first destination, only to find out you have to go back to where you started, just so you can then walk back to your first destination.
It's like Kain was going to the theater, but he forgot his tickets at home.
It is exactly that experience, except for there's a bunch of knights trying to stab Kain in the face.
They all came back. They all came back for a second time. How does that happen?
Well, it was either that or Kain just runs back to where we were before.
The phallic obelisk exploded, and the mist across the way cleared, revealing a thing. Kain had found a thing. Yes.
Kain just standing around with his face open. We didn't even time that to make him look dumb. That's actually the face he makes.
Away Kain goes! Into bats for destiny. Yes. What is this?
Looks like it's Raziel's turn.
But all Kain did was take 2 laps around the pillars.
Oh, yep. Just adventured out. Kain is just tired. Time for Raziel.
This is a ripoff. Kain has been cheated!
Yeah, it's true. Well, you'll get your time in the light. But here looks like a good place to stop for now. Thanks for playing with us, everybody.